start my starter on the counter tonight. I just pulled this out of the fridge. It's my nice bubbly starter that's been in the fridge for a while. I just put 90 grams. Well, you can't see it because without the spatula. It's 90 grams of starter in here, and then I'm gonna add, this is gonna make 6 large loaves, because this is a recipe for 2 loaves. So I'm gonna do 90, I'm gonna do 375 grams of water, and 420 grams of flour. Here's my flour and water added, and now I'm going to stir. All right, now I have stirred the starter, added the flour and water, stirred it up, and this is gonna rise quite a bit overnight. It's 6:30 p.m. I'm gonna work on this in 12 hours in the morning. Okay, it is 6:40 in the morning, and look at that. That is my starter. It's more than doubled in size. Fully activated. Now I'm going to make the dough. Okay, because I tripled the recipe, I'm going to use 750 grams of starter with 2,130 grams of water and 3,300 grams of flour and 72 grams of salt, and mix that all together. Okay, here's my 750 grams of starter in my tub, and that's what's left over. Okay, I've zeroed out my scale now, and I'm going to add, let's see, 2,130 grams of water from my pitcher. Yeah. All right, we've got lots of water in here. It's at 2,134 grams. I'm not gonna worry about those extra. Okay, now I'm going to add my flour to this pot. Then I'll add the correct amount of salt, stir it, and then I will add the dry. Actually, I'm gonna stir that first and then add the dry. All right, 3,300 grams of flour in the pot, 72 grams of salt. I'm using a whisk to mix the starter and the water. Okay, I've stirred the starter to the water, and it's now this bubbly, creamy mixture. Okay, I've stirred my flour and salt together, and now I'm going to add it to my milky mixture, starter and water. At this point, I'm going to move on to mixing this by hand. I've been mixing it for like 20 seconds with the spoon, and now I'm gonna start hand mixing it. So this is how I hand mix it. I'm just pushing it against the wall like this. Okay, I've mixed it, and now it looks like this. Okay, I'm taking the temperature of the dough, 71 degrees. Yeah, 71 degrees. And I'm going to put a lid on, and I'm going to put it near the fire to warm up a little bit. It's 7:18, so I'm going to come back in 1 hour and do the first coil. Okay, so I've gotten my hands wet, and I have my spatula, and I'm going to do my first coil. I'm going to, this is always the hardest one to do because the dough is least handleable. rollable. So I'm going to scrape it up like this, and then I'm going to grab it and stretch, and then I'm gonna coil this. Like that. Now I'm gonna turn. Okay, now I'm going on the other side to coil. Stretch. Roll it like that. And then I'm gonna go give it a half turn. I'm gonna do it from this side and then the other side. So I will have coiled it from all 4 sides when I'm done. Doesn't like doing this stretch. Turn. And do my last coil. Sometimes I get my hands wet in between, just to try to keep the dough off my hands more. Okay, this is the first of 5 coils. I'm gonna be doing these coils every half hour now until I've done 5 of them, and then I'll be done with the coils. Okay, I just finished my 5th coil. I did it every half hour 5 times. This is my chart. I mixed it. It was finished mixing at 720. I waited an hour. I did the first coil at 820. It was 74 degrees. Every half hour I did it. I took its temperature, and now it's up to 79 degrees on the 5th coil. So that means I'm going to do it, if it's 75 degrees, it'll take 5 hours. If it's 80 degrees, it'll take 7 hours. It's kind of been in between those. So I'll probably do 6 hours from the time I mixed it at 720. So at 120, I think that's right, I will start forming the dough. This is what it looks like after the 5th coil. I'm putting the lid on, and we'll come back at 1:30 in 3 hours. Okay, it has been a total of 6 hours, and the dough has risen, and it's all bubbly. It's looking great. I just took its temperature. It's 80 degrees. Okay, now I'm turning the dough out on the counter, and then I'm going to weigh sections into those. Okay, so I'm going to zero out my bowl. I'm going to section off some of this dough, and I'm going to try to make large loaves are about 900 grams. So I'm going to see what this weighs. 750. Okay, so this is going to be a large loaf. I'm going to form that in just a minute. Okay, you can stop. Take a video of these 3. And then now I'm going to, I have 3 large loaves, and then I'm going to section the rest of this into smaller loaves. I'm going to do 450 grams for a small loaf. large, and I'm going to now work the dough into a ball, creating tension on the top. I'm not the best at this, but the first shaping. I'm going to do this. Is it still recording? I'm going to do this with all of them and then let it sit for 20 minutes and then come back and shape it again before I put it in the basket. Okay, I'm doing the last loaf here. And as soon as I'm done with this one, I'm going to set a 20-minute timer and then come back and start doing the second shape. If you get close, you can see the little bubbles on the top. So I'm getting my baskets ready while this proofs on the counter. I've got 3 large baskets like this, and I dust the inside with flour.
It looks like a surgery doctor's hat.
Yeah, I'm gonna cover this, once I put the dough in, I'm gonna cover it with a shower cap. And then this one, I just bought these at like the restaurant supply store, and I just use a tea towel. I throw this in here, dust the bottom with flour, and then I cover it with the rest of the tea towel when it goes in the fridge. Okay, so it's been 20 minutes. Now we get to do something fun. We get to stretch the dough out.
Which is called laminating.
Then you're going to fold it in thirds down, like that. I'm going to stretch these out, fold them in. Going to stretch this out and then roll up like this. Now I'm going to get my basket. I'm going to put it in my basket like this, and I'm going to sew it closed like this.
Like you're doing seams.
Yeah, like I'm doing a seam.
Like a weaving.
Pinch on the sides. Okay, and then I'm going to sew it in just a minute again. I've got all my small baskets covered there, and I'm covering my large baskets. I'm gonna put them in on the top shelf. And then these are gonna stay in the fridge for 24 hours. You can do anywhere from 2 hours in the fridge to 24 hours. I'm gonna do 24. So what I have in here are the cast iron pots to preheat at 475. And I'm gonna get my dough. I dump it out upside down on parchment. Actually, I forgot to flour the bottom. I usually flour the bottom first with a little flour, and then I dump it. And then I score the top. That's what I'm actually gonna do. Like this. And then this one. cast iron has been preheating. I'm gonna pull them out. I'm going to pop the bread in like that. And then I get ice cubes. I put 2 ice cubes in each one behind the parchment. And then I put the lids on. And I put them back in the oven. And I'm gonna bake these for 25 minutes. And then I'm gonna pull them out and I'm gonna put the bread directly on the rack for another 8 minutes. Okay, so after 25 minutes, I pull bread out. I'm gonna put it directly on the rack. For 8 minutes. Okay, now it's time to pull the bread out. These are the little loaves. And that's it. And then you can let it cool for a couple hours before you put it in a bag.